Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by PlayPicksAndTheLines.com. I'm your host, Nate Weitzer, solo on the East Coast for one more episode before I head out for Josh Slander's wedding. As I mentioned in the other videos, we will be off for a week after that, and then back in full force for the conference finals and finals, bringing you every single game video and player props, which is what I'm bringing you here tonight. Before I do, please like and subscribe to the page so you don't miss it. When we do come back, check out all the written content on PlayPicksAndTheLines.com. That will not go away anytime soon. And if you do need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to FDPicks.com or DKPicks.com. Find all those listings in your local area. Such as what we got here. Steph Curry, I think, is the first guy I lean to with my narrative approach that, they were embarrassed, and he had a little bit of bulletin board material before the game saying that his plan, when asked about the game plan, was to whoop that trick, a Memphis song that is the Grizzlies' unofficial anthem, and then they got whooped by about 50. Steph and Dre seemed to take it in stride, kind of embracing the smoke in that loss. And I always thought that they were going to lose this game 5 in Memphis and then plan to close out at home, which was plus 210 before the game. Now you don't really get any value betting the Warriors to win this one, but they're definitely going to do everything they can to avoid a game 7 in Memphis. And I trust the experience of these guys to get it done. It's going to be about Steph and Dre because Klay Thompson is not fully back to Klay at all. He's shot very poorly in these last 2 games, along with the entire team. Jordan Poole might not have the experience, and this just isn't as good of a matchup as Denver was for him. Memphis now, with Ja out, is a better defensive team, and they're really limiting what Poole's been able to do. So it's on Steph. And, at home in the playoffs, he's been very reliable in this series, 30 points and 32 points in home games. 6.3 assists per game overall in the series as they're really chasing him off the 3-point line. He's still shooting 37% from 3, which is bad for him, but good for anybody. And he had 4 assists in 25 minutes in that blowout. We did highlight his assist prop in that game because of the fact that they're chasing him off the line. He was definitely on pace to get about 6 or 7 assists if this game remained competitive. I don't think there's any chance the Warriors are getting blown out at home in a game 6 here. And as I mentioned in the game video, Memphis' defense is far, far less disciplined when they're on the road. The Warriors' offense is 12 points better per 100 possessions in the playoffs at home right now, scoring 119 points per game. And Steph is facilitating everything along with handling that scoring. He's been able to get to the line a lot in this series and now in his last 2 after losses in these playoffs, 30 points per game, 5.5 assists per game, and 19 for 21 at the free throw line. And you just look at his last 3 regular season home games against Memphis when he was on that incredible tear in 2021. He had 42.5 points per game and 7 assists per game. So he can definitely light it up. The points prop is down from 28.5 to 27.5. Pretty good odds there at FanDuel like that, or to combine it with the assists at 33.5. I think you're pretty solid there. I think you'll get about 30 points. So I look at 30 plus points in a win potentially as a way to juke that money line, since I don't want to take the Warriors on the spread, but I think Steph is going to back up his trash talk there before the game 5 embarrassment. On the other side of the ball, Tyus Jones is obviously stepping in for Ja and playing extremely efficient basketball. Not a surprise if you follow this guy. He's led the league in assist to turnover ratio in 4 straight years and broke his own assist to turnover ratio record this year with a 7.04 ratio, a 125 offensive rating on the season, tallying 19.5 points and 10 assists per 100 possessions. His points prop is at 23.5 points and assists, or 16.5 points, depending where you want to go there. I would like to combine the assists. I think he's probably looking at about 8 or 9 dimes here, even on the road. The pace is 101.8 in this series. So 100 possessions. He's going to be out there for most of those. He played 41 minutes in a close game in game 4, had 19, 6, and 5. And then in just 24 minutes in that blowout, 21 points, 9 assists. Per 36 this season, he's about 15 points, 7.5 assists. So slightly below this prop. But I think it's a different kind of matchup. It's a different kind of approach for Memphis without Ja. It's really going to be about team basketball and Jones showing what he can do as one of the best backup point guards in the league. All you have to do is look at what he had against the Warriors in January 11th with Ja active in just 23 minutes, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists off the bench. he can exploit these matchups, exploit Curry on the other end and Poole, who's really a terrible perimeter defender at this point. Klay Thompson, not where he's been at. So, and Draymond's still not healthy either. So this Warriors defense, and maybe a little bit of smoke and mirrors as you wear on in the series. How much can Memphis get done? It really depends on what their steady point guard does. And I trust him to get enough points and assists and keep this game relatively close, keep Memphis within the 8-point spread. Switching over to the Eastern Conference game, and I'm going Bucks with both these props. I don't know what to make of the Celtics right now after their incredible fourth quarter collapse there. Definitely don't really want to take any props from that side. But Giannis, I mean, why would you not? His points prop is up 2 from 31.5 to 33.5, but that makes sense. I mean, it really should be around 35. The guy is on a tear in his last 4, averaging 36 points per game with a 42.5% usage rate. The offensive rating is not even very good. It's 102 with a lot of turnovers, a lot of missed shots, but he's just going to attack relentlessly. He is that very steady approach, the antithesis of Boston's leader, Jason Tatum, who is just riled up by the refs and focused on everything but basketball at times in the middle of these games and leading the team. I definitely hope he comes out to play, but I think Giannis is going to outscore him again. And I've highlighted the last 2 games. It was about even money for him to be top point scorer at FanDuel. Now it's minus 160, which is about correct. But I still think you can take that with confidence, betting 1.6 units and getting one back. I don't think there's any chance somebody outscores Giannis in this closeout game. We saw what he did in his last closeout game in the finals, about 50 points, 17 rebounds. So taking the 30 plus in a win gets you plus money at FanDuel. 35 plus in a win is where I would go at plus 240 for the Bucks to hold on and seal this one. They also need to avoid a game 7 in Boston. And that's going to require big, heavy lifting from Giannis, who has a 33% usage rate in the playoffs at home compared to 30% on the road. Like I said, it's about 43% in this series without Chris Middleton. He's going to continue to attack, knowing that he might get a few more beneficial whistles in Milwaukee than he would in Boston. But not like the Bucks have much other choice. They're going to give the ball to their MVP and let him do what he does. And finally, I'm looking at Bobby Portis. I mean, he stepped in for Brook Lopez as a little bit more of a versatile guy on the offensive end. Wasn't necessarily a defensive stopper in Game 5, but had 14 points, 15 rebounds, including 4 in the fourth quarter. He was a +9 in the fourth, had that clinching offensive rebound, and he's got to get rewarded with some more minutes here and some more confidence as he is willing to fire his shot. He was just 4 for 14 from the field in that last game, but the 14 field goals, you got to like it. If his prop's at 11.5 points, and he's going to take 14 shots, he's probably getting those points. That's minus 120, so not the greatest odds. If you combine it with the rebounds at 20.5 points rebounds, you get much better odds there. Boston's had trouble dealing with him in his last 8 now, 12.5 points, 9 rebounds, getting you over the prop. And if Rob Williams is out, they're going to have trouble boarding up once again. So Portis, another guy who's going to give them trouble on the boards on both ends. And just be a good complementary option when they have to close out on Giannis. He's going to get plenty of open shots. The Celtics will be definitely looking at Giannis after the 40-plus points he's put up in each of the last 2 games. So that is all the time we have for today. As always, please like and subscribe to the page. Keep an eye out for our videos to return on May 23rd after Josh's honeymoon. And enjoy these NBA playoffs. Check out all the written content we have to keep you tided over. And until we see you next, happy betting.